going on, guys? John here with SOTA-Native. The weather's been kind of shaky as far as being able to get out on the water, so I figured I'd bring you to SOTA-Native's kitchen. We're gonna do a grouper scampi. I caught the Gag Grouper about 150 miles offshore. I do have a video of that up on YouTube as well. So I'd always like you to check it out, like, subscribe, and as always, thanks for everything. Let's get cooking. All right, so we're gonna cut us up some shallots here. Shallots are pretty easy on your stomach, so if we're gonna do anything with a little bit of onion in it, this is what I would prefer to use. With that being said, we're just gonna kind of rough chop. I don't want them super thick and I don't want them super fine or else they'll burn. So we're gonna go to about like that. Throw the shallots in once the oil gets nice and happy. And you want to start the oil out low, because starting the oil out low, if it's too hot, they'll scorch immediately when they hit the pan. While we're waiting on that, we're gonna go ahead and bust out a couple cloves. Fresh cloves of garlic for a scampi is always the best pick. Knife flat, hit the knife. Knife flat, just give it a little pop. I'm gonna be running this through a grater, so I would prefer them being whole rather than busted and broken, so be a little light on the palm. I smashed this one pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and grate our garlic right over top of the Now this garlic should liquefy pretty easily because it is grated up. We already got our water boiling. We're gonna put this scampi over angel hair pasta. I guess you could use a garlic paste. To me, the fresh garlic always tastes the best. And I don't like the jarred garlic for this because you get those big, huge chunks that just don't want to cook down or whatever it may be. We're just going to go ahead and scrape the grater clean, and that should liquefy down inside that olive oil pretty easy. Again, another reason not to be cooking super hot, because you'll end up burning this. Keep an eye on your oil. You might need to add a splash more. I think this is going to work out all right. We're going to get some salt and pepper. Maybe some fresh pepper. Some fresh salt going. I'm going to put just a little splash more olive oil. And once this starts to get translucent, we're going to crank the heat up and we're going to throw in some tomatoes. Kind of want that sweet acidity in there. Okay, so while we got the garlic and shallots rolling, I'm gonna go ahead and cut me up probably about 5 little grape tomatoes. I'm gonna split them. If they're really small, then we just split them, but these are some decent sized guys, so I'm gonna cut them into quarters. Now we're gonna turn the heat up over there. We're gonna go ahead and throw these in. You can almost hear them pop when they hit the oil. They're gonna start roasting. gonna go ahead and that's looking just about right. So what we're gonna want to do is take us a nice Pinto Grigio, something you would drink. Cooking wine is okay, and we're just gonna add a little bit. You don't want to flood it. And that's gonna help pull all that stuff up off the bottom of the skillet. We're making more of a pan sauce, so I'm going to want it to naturally be thick. I'm going to cook my fish in another skillet. One thing you are going to need is some broth, fish broth, chicken, beef, you know, something like that. We're just going to throw a little splash of some chicken broth in here. Again, don't flood it. Chicken broth is going to help it thicken. On top of that, while that's going, we're going to grab us a little bit of capers. We want the acidity of the capers to go in well. We're just going to throw a few in there. Nothing crazy. I think we're gonna throw a little bit more black pepper. Salt is probably something I wouldn't add more of. You can, by all means. So while we're letting that reduce, I'm gonna turn down my heat. And then we're just gonna finely chop some basil. And that's gonna go right up on top. Another thing I'm gonna do while I'm standing here is we're gonna go ahead and roll out a lemon. I'm gonna put a little bit of lemon juice in there to help bring out some more acidity and sweetness. Now I'm gonna throw my basil in right on top. Basil is very good, but it can get very, very pungent if you use too much. So just keep that in mind. See, that's almost a nice thick gravy, nice thick sauce. So we're gonna put this off to the side and let it reduce down, and I'm gonna let it cool off, and I'm gonna start cooking my fish. Okay, so there's a lot of flavors in our sauce, so I'm gonna do this pretty simply. We're gonna do some sea salt. I'm gonna do some pepper. And we're gonna do just a little bit of red chili flake. We're just gonna kind of pat that in. Give it a flip. Same thing. Salt. Chili flakes are probably only going to do on one side. Pepper. And I got my oil warming up in the skillet behind me. Should be nice and hot. Our pasta's done, our sauce is done. So the only thing that we are really waiting on is the fish. And this really shouldn't take long at all. Alright, so our fish is pretty much done. You see we got a few things on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a splash of the same white wine. Nothing crazy, there was oil in here. It's going to kind of give it that sweetness to the wine right when it's done. I don't want it bathing in it. Okay, and while that finishes up, we're going to start getting ready to plate this bad boy. We're going to take our angel hair here. After, while I was waiting on the fish, I went ahead and strained it and added some olive oil so it wouldn't stick. We're going to take this a nice little pile. Right, now we're going to take our fish right out of the skillet, put it right on top. Don't want to leave that, that's flavor. Alright, now we're going to come in with this sauce. All that flavor. And we're going to lay it right on top. All right, there you have it. There you have it. This is a twist on some Gag Grouper scampi, and I'm telling you, the way it smells, I wish you could smell it, but I'm gonna eat it, so. You gotta give this a shot. Outstanding. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.